to Principal Chief Chuck Hoskin Jr., Deputy Chief Brian Warner, First Lady January Hoskin, First Daughter Jasmine, and to Mako Warner and their families. Wado, for your unwavering support of the Cherokee people and for championing the traditions that bring us together as a nation. Your presence and encouragement continue to inspire us and strengthen our shared heritage. A special thank you to Dan Mink for this year's beautiful theme, which captures the spirit of our celebration so beautifully. We are deeply grateful to Michael Hamlin, co-coordinator of the Quilt Show, whose tireless work and dedication keep this event thriving. We also thank Ryan Krager of A. Bloom Florist for the beautiful plants that brighten our space, and Front Porch Fabrics for their generous contribution of door prizes. Together with the vision of our leaders, the creativity of our quilters, and the support of our community, the 73rd Cherokee National Holiday Quilt Show stands as a shining example of a Cherokee pride and tradition. Wado, and let's enjoy this year's celebration of quilts, stories, and community. So now let's go over and check out the themed entry. This year's winner is Laura Garrett, and we're going to walk over here and see her beautiful work of art. So we're over here with Laura Garrett, and she is showing these nice ladies and gentlemen her beautiful piece. Laura, can you tell us about your quilt, your little themed entry here?
My themed entry quilt. And this year is my second year to enter this show, and I decided not to completely mimic this year's theme, but kind of use it as a jumping point and make it my own. So I do have the border mimicking the border of this year, but it's not 73 hands. I incorporated the 73 into the leaves, which are individually placed on the tree. The hands, I curved the thumbs to go into the tree and into the roots. And I developed the genealogy fan here on the center. In syllabary, the center band are all of the 7 clans. The next band is mother and father. The next band is grandmother, grandfather. And the final band is grandmother's mother, grandmother's father, grandfather's mother, and grandfather's father. Strong Cherokee roots. I've got the backdrop that the theme had with the stitching, embroidery stitching. And then the arrows here and the borders at the top and bottom are 7 arrows representing 7 generations to the past and 7 generations in the future. And the theme and the seal.
Tell them about the tree and how that is combined with just that one piece of fabric.
So I brought the crosshatch theme from this part of the design this year into the crosshatch fabric that is the black fabric here. And this piece is all one piece. The trees, limbs, and trunk and the backdrop are all one piece of fabric. So that was very delicate to work with.
So, are you ready for next year's theme?
Yes. I wish they could tell us now.
I know, right? That'd be great.
It comes out around the 1st of May, and then I started working on the design and procuring fabric and tools, and actually didn't start working on this quilt until July. So took a week off of work, vacation time, to finish it up here in time for the holiday.
And Mr. Mink, when he came and judged these 3 entries this morning, he was talking about how all 3 were very beautiful and that all of them gave something, and he had no bad marks for any of them. But this one stood out, as I think that we can all see it does. Not to take away from the others, they are absolutely beautiful as well, and we're so grateful. Laura is a local resident here. This one up here in the right hand is from Missouri, and then the other one came all the way from North Carolina. So we're very grateful to those ladies for coming and entering our show. And congratulations, Laura. I'm so happy you won.
Thank you.
So, and then we're going to move up here, and we're going to see all of the prestigious awards. and we'll go from here. So this beautiful quilt is called Galactic Explosion, and it's part of my heart, and I don't want to cry, but this is my mother's quilt. And the chief chose that as his choice last night, and I am so grateful. My mother won the chief's choice this year. She has a story, and it says she wanted to make a quilt that was hand-pieced, hand-quilted. So all of this is done in her lap, not on a quilting frame. And she was generously given a lot of quilt fabric from Angela Johnston that lives in Dallas. Thank you, Angela. That was so sweet of you. She had 2 blocks, and she was not able to sit at the sewing machine too long, so she took them apart and put them back together and then hand-pieced them. This quilt is the result of her generosity and her sister Marie Smith. I hope they love it as much as she does, and this is also a gift to me. This is my quilt my mother gave to me, and I love it so much. I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. So we'll move now down to the First Lady's choice, and this is called Snake River. It is machine pieced, machine quilted, and it was by Carol Montgomery and quilted by Ina Crittenden. And it is a beautiful, beautiful quilt. And she won the First Lady's choice. And so we hope that she is excited as we were last night. She won. So, and then now we're going to go down here and talk to Miss Nancy Turtle. Nancy is one of our every year quilters. We look forward to whatever she brings because it's always beautiful. And Nancy has won the First Daughter's Choice. And she's also won the Mako Warner's Choice as well. So she's really cleaned up this year. So, Miss Nancy, tell us about this quilt.
Well, for one thing, the turtles are colorful. For another thing, I have to get turtles because that's my name. And it just has so many vibrant colors in it that it just caught my eye.
Let's go down here and talk about let's go down here and we'll talk about this quilt while we have you up here. And then this one is the Mako Warner choice. And as soon as she saw it, she just fell in love with it. So tell me about this quilt.
Well, flowers to me are happy. So the colors in that just stand out and they're just happy to look at. I had the fabric for a while, and you always have it and then you decide what you want to make, but that pattern just fit it, and so that's my flower bouquet.
Tell us about the stitching right here. It looks like little hearts. Is that what that is, or it just loops?
The quilting in it, it's supposed to be hearts.
Okay.
Or little butterflies.
It's beautiful.
But yeah, Ina Crittenden is the one that quilted it for me, and she did several in here. But yeah, it's just a happy quilt.
Well, congratulations on both of those big wins.
Thank you.
You also are a vendor out in the hallway, right?
Right.
And so you have quilts for sale out there?
I have quilts for sale. I have table runners, bow cozies. I've got turtles out there too. Pillows. So come visit.
They are beautiful, you guys. You need to come down here and get you a load of these because they are so gorgeous. You're going to love them. Thank you, Nancy, and congratulations again. I'm super happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
All right, let's go back up here and we'll talk about this one. This is the Deputy Chief's Award, and this goes to Sandy Houston. And it was pieced by Margaret Wilson, and it was quilted by Margaret Wilson. This is also a hand-pieced, hand-quilted. Deputy was torn between a couple of them, but then his final result was this one. And I know she's going to be super happy when she finds out. So that was called Maroon Flower Garden, and it really does look like a flower garden, I think. But it's the little pinwheels, and this, I guess sometimes the older ladies, like my mother's age, which is 84, they tend to do this kind of quilting. So I can remember my granny had one, and we would wrap up in it and stay warm and in her big old feather bed. So these are more traditional, and the deputy chief really does like the traditional quilting. So we can go down now and we'll start looking at some quilts and talking to some other folks and see where we are. The viewer's choice hasn't been chosen yet. So you guys get out here and vote because we need you to come out and choose so that these ladies can be rewarded at the end of the show, which will be on Sunday. We will have that reward. So we can start here if you'd like, and we can go down and just start looking at some. This is Stars and Stripes. This is Machine Piece, Machine Quilted by Connie Snelson, and Ann Olson quilted it for her. And this is, as you can see, all this little intricate pieces that have all been sewn together. And I just think it's beautiful. This one is by Virginia, I think it says Searles. I'm not sure how to say her name. Hope she doesn't get mad at me. But it's called Scrappy Log Cabin, and you can see this is the little log cabin pattern here that goes up and down like that. And she says this variation is her favorite pattern to sew. It lends to my Cherokee heritage in that Bushy Head home in Westville is built around a log cabin. Reverend Jesse Bushyhead was her great-great-grandfather. So this one is representing her family, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So this one is by the same lady, Virginia, and it's called Warmth of Our Stars. And she said she found this pattern in a magazine and designed the colors to resemble arrows. She hopes that my grandchildren and great-grandchildren will inherit my love for quilts, and we hope that as well. We need those children and grandchildren to continue this tradition. It's a dying art, and we want that to not die. We love these quilts, and we love showing them for all of our quilters, and just trying to make sure that this is a continued event every year with new people. And so we need that. Behind you here is a beautiful quilt called Kinda Ugly. But as you can see, it is not kinda ugly. It is very beautiful. This one came from North Carolina. The owner is Janet Foreman Green, which happens to be my cousin. And she said that her neighbor's aunt, who was 84 years old and now deceased, was pieced by her. And then Janet quilted it. She said it wasn't square or level. The fabrics look cheap, and it's kind of ugly. That's how her neighbor felt about this unfinished top that was crammed in a big garbage bag for $25 at her yard sale. So you never know what you're going to find at the yard sale, though, right? She didn't have correct change, so she got it for $20. And then she wants to show her that kind of ugly can be kind of pretty. And I say she has absolutely done that. It is beautiful. I love this one. And it's hard to believe it was in a garbage bag at a yard sale for $25. And it turned out to be this beautiful quilt. So you never know, one man's treasure. So around here we have one is by Michelle Newton. And it is called Aloha Sunshine. And as you can see, all the little shirts are fabric that she purchased when she was in Hawaii. And she bought all these shirts and came home, and she's made this beautiful quilt. And she said if you ever visit Hawaii, you'll quickly notice the colorful aloha shirts everywhere. And to her, this quilt feels like it's asking which way to the islands. Everybody needs a shirt. It's so pretty. I love all the little different colors. It's really pretty. And Michelle, she has been a quilter with us for a while, and she's done some really good things. So, and then next is Michelle's as well. And she, this one is paying homage to the movie Wicked, as you can see. So something that she loves just as much as quilting is Broadway. And so this quilt began as an exploded heart pattern, but reimagined it to represent Wicked, a perfect blend of two of my passions because pink goes good with green. And as you can see, there's little sparklies all through this black, which I absolutely loved when the light hits it just right. And I love this pattern. It's beautiful pattern on here. If you can get a close up there, you can see all the little squigglies, I call them. Probably not the correct word, but to me that's what it looks like, and I think it's beautiful. Down here we have another quilt called Pretty Woman by Jean Olson. And this is pink, blue, and green pastels with a piano key border. And if you know what piano key border is, you'll know what I'm talking about. But if you're like me and didn't know until this show, you learn really quick. It's these little strips that go like this, so it resembles a piano keyboard. So I think this one is absolutely beautiful. It has these beautiful little strips in here that took very long time, I'm sure, to make. So behind you is a quilt called Malachi's Dumbo, and it is owned by Randy Willis, and he pieced it. Randy Willis, MD, excuse me. Randy Willis, MD. He pieced it and he quilted it, or he had it quilted by Sooner Quilts in Guthrie, Oklahoma. He was taught to quilt by his surgeon wife as she entered the early stage of Alzheimer's disease. And he made this quilt for the son of her most special caregiver. So I found out today that the most special caregiver's son is 3 years old, and he is absolutely adorable. And so he made this quilt for him. And as you can see, he's got an elephant, and it is just so cute. So we'll go down here to this one, and this is called Eternity. And it's by Virginia. And Virginia, please bear with me if I say your name wrong. I think it's Searles. This quilt was made from a kit with pre-designated fabric. She said she sews every day that she can because it's great therapy for her mind, body, and spirit. And I think that is what is in all of these quilts, is the therapy and the patience that it takes is unreal. But this is a beautiful quilt too. It's got a lot of design and a lot of little tiny squares that have been cut out. It is just, I think it's absolutely beautiful. So if you want to skip over here, we'll show you a little surprise that we gave to the chief last night. He was given his face on a quilt by Norma Silk, and he was pretty taken aback when he saw that. He was like, "What?" He said he'd never had his face on a quilt before, so he was pretty in awe of it. And we had a good talk about that. And Miss Norma is from Missouri, and she also entered the theme entry. And then this one is by our youngest quilter. She's under 12, and she made it herself, and it's called Vanellope's Blankie, and she made it for her favorite stuffed rabbit. Now, who wouldn't want that? And of course, you know, every child loves Bluey. He's a huge hit right now. My granddaughter Ava is enthralled with him. She thinks he's just the bomb diggity. So, and then this one is a baby quilt called Marina Terry's Babies. And it was made by Laura Garrett that just won the themed entry. And her kindness is this lady that this child belongs to, her mother was killed in a car accident and while she was pregnant. And so Miss Laura goes to the church with her. And so she's kind of took her under her wing, and she now has a new baby, and so she has made her a quilt because her mother's not here to do so. And so she made her this beautiful little quilt and put her little name on it. So I look forward to seeing that little child wrapped up in that one day. I think that would be precious. And let's go back this way, and we're going to go down here and talk to a couple of people. We're going to look at Ring Around the Posies right here. This is by Janet Foreman Green. She got third place on it in her category. It's a wall hanging, and she loves purple. And she was trying to find a way to use up her black and white fabric stash that she has, and while making it not look just black and white. The purples were perfect. She said, "Try to find my Amish mistake block." Well, I've looked and looked, and I still don't find it, so she'll have to show it to me. But I think it's very pretty. It's very vibrant. And she did use up her black and white. This is a wall hanging that got first place, and it's by Leanne Mahaney Burgess. She pieced it, she quilted it, and the paper pieced pineapple quilt block. That's what this is, pineapple quilt block. And it was made entirely from scraps from a larger quilt that we'll see here in just a few minutes. This pattern was taken from a book by Alex Anderson. Leanna also made 2 quilts that we are giving away as door prizes. And she also helped me with my ribbons that I made for the prestigious awards. And she is just one of our biggest supporters. And she has a fabric store called Front Porch Fabrics in Stillwell. And we love it that she enters our show every year. So she got first place with this one. This is also hers. And if you sometimes might have to take a step back to appreciate this one. And it's called Dad's Car. And I was just in love with this. It was paper piece from a Leggett Kits pattern company in Oklahoma City. It was quilted using both computer guided stitching and ruler work free motion. And as you can see, it's a 69 Camaro, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I love the reds in it, and it got a perfect score by our judges. So all of this little pieces that have been put on here is very time consuming, and she has done a beautiful job, and we really love this quilt. We can go over here and talk about this one. This is a black and white. It is called the Ohio Star, and it was by Linda Hogner. Miss Hogner lost her husband earlier this year, but she managed to put out this beautiful quilt, and I absolutely love this one. She said it was quite a challenge for her, but she loves making quilts, and I know she entered it also at the Black Gum Quilt Show, and I understand that she won second place there with it. But I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's a very elegant quilt that it would look really good hung in anyone's home. So, and then we will walk on behind you here, over here onto this row, and we will look at this one called Morning Flower Market. It's by Ellen Harris, and it was inspired from fabrics from a sidewalk sale. There we are again with that same little thing about the yard sale, only this was a sidewalk sale, but look how beautiful it is. It's beautiful purples and beautiful colors with butterflies all throughout. It's just very pretty. So this one is by, it's called Autumn Winds by Ellen Harris as well. And she adopted this from a pattern by Audrey Hornbuckle. And I just think this is really, really pretty. Getting this little center thing and then everything little point to match up, that's what the judges look at. And so when they look and see these little points and they match up perfectly, that is you get a really good score for that. So I'm sure she did really well. So, and then this one is called Unity Through Generations of Duty. This was by Shar Woodard. And she is celebrating 6 generations of Purple Hearts in her family, from her grandfather in World War I down through time to my grandchildren just now pouring sand out of their boots. And so they are just finishing up with their duty, and we thank them for their service and all of her family that has been there and done things to make sure that we are free, and we appreciate that. It's a beautiful quilt. It pays homage to every Army, Navy, Marines, that sort of thing. I can't remember what that's called right now because I'm nervous, so please understand that. But I think it's a beautiful quilt, and it is with a lot of love, made with a lot of love by her for her family. And so we'll go around here, and we're gonna talk about this quilt. This was made by Peggy Gann, and this quilt had one Sasquatch, but she added 2 more. So she said you can't just have one Sasquatch, of course. And so this is a beautiful quilt. And so we this one, I think she is in California as well. But we love this quilt, and it's a fun thing to look at and talk about Sasquatch. Behind you is a quilt called Trees. And I like this because I have a thing about trees. I live in the woods, and so I really like trees. So this is a beautiful quilt. The tree pattern was fun to sew. The panel caught her eye, and she just had to piece it. And I think she did a wonderful job, and I love the trees. And I love that she added all of this out here to complement it. And then this beautiful quilting inside these squares. She did a wonderful job, and we're so grateful that she entered it into our show. Here we have Bison in the Snow by Peggy Gann. And this was her very first panel quilt. And I say that she did a wonderful job with it. I love buffaloes, and I think that is really beautiful. It reminds me of Colorado, and I love Colorado. So, and then down here we have what they call a Southwest Shadow Block by Janet Foreman Green. And this shadow box pattern is a great way to use fat quarters and jelly rolls. And you quilters, you'll know what that means. For everybody else that doesn't, look it up and find out and make a quilt and bring it to the show. It's a great way to use fat quarters and jelly rolls to quickly piece a top. She says this twin quilt comes with matching pillowcases. And I think it is for sale, so if anybody's interested, you can come to our show and talk to Miss Green and purchase the quilt. So let's go around here, and then I think we are going to talk to, I was going to have Randy here, but he looks like he stepped away. But we'll talk about this quilt. It's called Buttons, and it's by Leslie Asalis, and it's a pattern is Buttons Up by Cluck Cluck Sew, and she used fat quarters of sewing prints. This is all a button, and I just think this is so cute. It just has all these different colors and all these different patterns, all the same pattern, but some square, some octagon. I just think it's so pretty. And she won first place with it, so congratulations to Leslie. And Leslie's also one of our quilters that comes every year, and she is here and shows off all her pretty stuff. And this is a third place winner. It's called Yellowstone, and I can see why. It was by Leona Pippin, and she said during her first quilt show hop, her husband and she found this panel, and she fell in love with it. It reminded us of our first trip to Yellowstone National Park. During that trip, we were buffalo watching. They began to run, and we ended up caught between the two trees as they ran past us on both sides, and we all know we're not supposed to get out of our car at Yellowstone, but they did, and so she was pretty scared, she said. And so we talked with her about that, and I was teasing her about being out of the car. We had these beautiful buffalo when I was there, and they walked right up next to our car, and I was terrified because they were gigantic. Behind us, we have a quilt that was made by Sherry Schote. It's called Big Game. And this quilt was made for her grandson, Kedrick Schote. His room is decorated with deer, and is also patriotic. He also happens to be my great-nephew, and he loves deer hunting, and he is just a wonderful young man. And his Mama, that's what he calls her, made this quilt for him. And he's very patriotic as well, so she paid homage to that in this quilt. And I think we have, let me see if Randy is down there yet. Okay, let's get Randy over here. Randy, come on in. And this is Randy Willis, MD, and he made this beautiful quilt called the Medicine Man quilt. And I'm going to hand this to him, and he's going to tell us about it.
Well, I started quilting about 12 years ago. My wife, who was a surgeon in Stillwater, took up quilting when she retired. And after about 3 years, she started losing her memory to Alzheimer's. And she would ask me to help her piece and cut fabric, and over a period of time I started doing the whole thing, and so I've continued that hobby until now. I came to the show a year ago and saw all the beautiful quilts here, and was particularly taken with one that was the Oklahoma quilt, and it inspired me to make characters and animals that were part of my life, and so that's what I did. I made all these animals that have been in my life. For example, when I grew up in Shawnee, we had a box turtle that lived in our backyard that would come to the back door and scratch for food for my mother to give him. I rode horses a lot in New Mexico in the mountains and had a pack horse that was one of my very favorite horses. My granddad caught a rabbit in his back pasture near Cleora, near Grand Lake, and I couldn't believe he was so fast that he could catch that rabbit, but he did. But he had played football for the Cherokee Seminary football team in 1905. And I had a great-grandfather who was killed by a rattlesnake bite, so I did the rattlesnake. And when I was a Boy Scout at Philmont Scout Ranch in New Mexico, one night my tent mate spilled chili on his sleeping bag, and the next morning we found that he had been pulled out of the tent and his sleeping bag had been shredded by the bear. So that's an example of what all those animals mean to me. And as a physician, I was inspired to make a medicine man quilt, and that's the emblem of the medicine man's eye. And these are tracks of a coyote, which are good luck. So, and these are the mountains of the Blue Ridge Mountains in New Mexico, in North Carolina and Georgia, where our ancestors came from. So it all means something.
Thank you for explaining that, because we all need to know that story. This is a beautiful quilt, and I'm so happy you won first place with it. You seem to be a little surprised about that, and I was really surprised that you were surprised, because this is a beautiful quilt, and it has a great story. And that is the things that we like. We like to talk to the people that made the quilts so that we get to know what inspired you to make it and what your thinking was and how you created it. It means more. And it's hard to do that when we have them all hanging unless someone tells us the story, which is what we like to put. But of course, this one has a beautiful story, and we don't have enough space on these little cards to do that. But I'm glad you brought this and shared it with us. We really appreciate you entering our show, and we hope that you will continue to do so throughout the coming years. Thank you, Randy. All right, we're going to move on around here, and he also did the Malachi's Dumbo, so that was, and he's also got one around here, so come around here and tell us about this one, Randy, because this one is a special one, because I'm a big Elvis fan. I am. And so here, why don't you tell us about this one and how this one came about?
Well, I was in Memphis staying at the Peabody Hotel, where they have the ducks that come out to the fountain twice a day. And in the lobby of the hotel is a shop that sells really nice silk shirts for performers, and it's called Lansky Brothers. And the Lansky Brothers, back in the 50s, started making shirts for Elvis Presley. And when I was there visiting, I met Hal Lansky, who's my age, who's the son of the man who made Elvis shirts. And when I told him my hobby was making quilts, he said, "Randy, I'm going to send you a box of silk shirt fabrics." So about a week later, after I got home, all these shirt fabrics came, and I decided I would make a quilt that would celebrate Elvis and the Lansky brothers. And so my only pattern was a little fridge magnet that I bought at Graceland. So that was my pattern to make the big guitar. But Hal was very gracious to send me and share with me all of these wonderful fabrics. So one of these days I'm going to take it to Memphis and he can hang it in his shop.
That would be fantastic. Yeah. That would be fantastic. And if hopefully someone that's watching this will go to Graceland and see it there and go, "Hey, I remember seeing that at the quilt show in Tahlequah, Oklahoma." So, and you won third place in your category, and it is just a beautiful quilt. I love it so much. And the fact that this is down the arm is amazing to me, and the beautiful threads to represent the strings. It's very beautiful. I loved it a lot. And all of the little stitching, it's just so good. It's just so pretty, and the colors were just amazing. So, yeah, they are. So thank you so much for bringing this one as well. So we'll look forward to seeing more from you. The one behind us is, the owner is Jonathan Turtle, and I'm not sure he even knows that this is his quilt yet. It's a surprise. Nancy Turtle made it, the one that just won the 2 prestigious awards. She said this has her grandson's T-shirts and some pictures of his activities, and she's a proud Nana and hope this brings him some memories and a smile. And it's just so personal, and it's so cute. I just love it, and she won first place with it, and I can see why. It is just special. Those family heirlooms are special. This one is by Connie Snelson, and it's called Grandmother's Hankies. She said her grandmother always carried a hanky, which mine always did too. And the 2 that aren't embellished were sent to her grandmother from Europe during World War II from her dad while he was stationed there. So the two that are not embellished, and I'm trying to find those so that we can look at those, but I'm not sure. They're pretty. They're all pretty. I love them. They're little hankies. My grandmother used to carry one all the time, and my Aunt Frida also carried one too. And Connie Snelson got second place with that in her category, which is the specialty technique. This one down here is our World Traveler. And this is by Nancy Owens Chosick, I think. It's a Guild Challenge Winter Wonderland in the winter of 2020. It's required use of items provided to participants, including 3 particular fabrics, glass beads, and cheesecloth. The cheesecloth was used to make it look like ice, which was perfect. The glass beads are like little snowflakes. And then she said this particular fabric. I fell in love with this when I unwrapped it and looked at it. She sent it to me, and she's not here. She is in California. And so she has won our World Traveler, which is the farthest distance the quilt traveled. So she got this award, and I'm happy she did because I absolutely love that. I think it's beautiful. And she got first place in her category, which is specialty technique, actually. So she's got these beautiful ribbons and this plaque. So I'm sure she'll be excited to get that back in the mail when it gets sent back to her. Maybe I might not send the quilt, though. So do you hear that? Nancy, if the quilt's not in there, you'll know where it's at. I love it so much. All right, let's go around here and we will look at this one. It's called Fancy Dreams, and this is by Nancy Turtle as well. And she does turtles, and we love that. This is a ladies group dressed up and going to their quilt retreat. So that is so adorable. I love the little eyes on it. It just makes me smile. The one behind us is by Nancy as well. And she says, Oklahoma is a very versatile state. We have the great Cherokee Nation, which we are so proud of. And also our outstanding schools, NSU, OU, and OSU. Although OSU, some of us OU fans like, eh. But anyway, OSU is still a part of us. An epic national champion ABA team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, go Thunder. This quilt by no means includes everything, but highlights only a few. But a few are the most important. And so we love our teams. We're all football and basketball fans, and we love our home state and proud to be from here. This is a ribbon skirt made by Norma Silk. And I love this because it has all these cute little ribbon skirts. National Ribbon Skirt Day is January the 4th each year, and they are worn by Indigenous women as a symbol of personal reclamation of one's identity. And I love it that she is honoring that. I think that's very important. I have some ribbon skirts myself. This one is called Lost and Forgotten, and it's by Linda Sepulveda. And she won first place with it. And it says, greater than 5,600 Native American women have been reported missing. Native American women are 2.5 times more likely to experience sexual assault and rape than any other minority. The rate of homicide among Native American women is 4.4 over 100,000, second only to blacks in America. Native American women are 3.5 times more likely to commit suicide, and their life expectancy is 6 years below the national average. When will these women have value? And we have to stop this from happening. This has to be a very important part of our lives and make sure that these women, us, are protected. I'm Native. I want to know that I'm going to be safe in my country. And I think that this is very important, and I love what she did. I think it's very beautiful. Third place here is by Linda as well. And she's very artistic. I love this one so much. The turtle represents protection and healing, and the morning star represents guidance and confers hope. And I think it's absolutely beautiful. And these little pieces of leather that she has, or felt, I guess it is, that she has added with the little stones is just beautiful. This one, the chief was very impressed with this one as well. We talked about this a little bit last night. Now, I have a bakery at home. So This one, and I'm a huge Christmas fan. Huge Christmas fan. Ask my sweetie, he'll tell you my house gets totally redone at Christmas. So this was the coordinator's choice, and it's by Ritvik, and he said to say his last name like battery charger. So it's, and I'm not even going to try because I can't say it. So I just call him Ritvik Battery Charger because that's how I say his name. It's called the 'Tis the Season of Baking, and this quilt, loosely inspired by Kimberbell's We Whisk You a Merry Christmas, design showcases my love for the holidays, the rich seasonal colors, and cooking. This is such a beautiful quilt. I couldn't pass it up. He has such detail. The punch bowl with the ladle, instead of stopping here, he went on down and showed us the bottom of the ladle. And I love that. We have little pockets that you can stick your finger down in, and they're just so cute. And all these beautiful recipes that are embroidered on here. And that is one of the hardest things that you can do. It's amazing that he got these, and they looked so beautiful. He totally deserved my love for this quilt, and I am so honored to give it to him because I just think this is the most beautiful thing, and I love it very much. So maybe we can go around here now, and we'll kind of sneak under if we can. Maybe we can sneak under here, and then we will talk about our traditional clothing. This is a new category that we've had this year. We've had ribbon skirts prior, but this year we added traditional clothing so that we could get all works of art from all different types of clothing. We ended up with a tear dress this year, which we've never had before. This is by Barbara Boland, and her daughter asked her to make this dress, and of course she said yes, and she's glad she did. It was a challenge to make, but she said in the end it was well worth it, and I totally agree with that. This is a beautiful dress, and I would be honored to have something like that. We also have the Stomp Dance vest and tie. This is the first time we've ever had something like this, and I think this is awesome. I think this would be so nice on a man with a pair of nice slacks or even a pair of jeans. I think he could wear it either or. This is a traditional ribbon shirt, but it was called a work shirt. It doesn't have the tie or the ribbons that come down like some have these days, but this one was a work shirt, and they weren't put on there, so when he leaned forward, he wouldn't get them caught in his work and tear him up or hurt him. So that is new this year. And then as you can see, all the beautiful ribbon skirts that we have, and it just amazes me at all the beautiful colors and the thought that goes behind these. Our traditional clothing award went to Sherry Schote, and this is hers, and it has the syllabary ribbon at the bottom, and it is just so pretty. We just love it. And she came to Holiday last year and found this fabric and ribbon that she loved. And she purchased a couple of pieces from So Saligi from Nancy Maney, and this is the result. Nancy is also from North Carolina, I think, is what my understanding is. But she won that because she made this beautiful skirt, and it has the syllabary on it. And congratulations, Sherry. We're super happy for you. And as you can see, guys, I've been honored as well. Look like me? It's called the Queen of Hearts, and Janet made it as a novelty fun quilt for me to have for dinner conversation, and I love it. It's dear to my heart now, even though it's so silly. I love it still. And then we have pillows, and this is called Blueberry Muffins. It was a miniature Civil War reproduction quilt made for a local quilt guild challenge in 2024 by the patterns by Joe Martin. It's called Blueberry Muffins, which is so cute. I think that's just adorable. Table runners and this beautiful silver leaf bag. As you can see, it's got these big old black buttons that I just absolutely love on here. It's an elegant quilted bag for travel or small sewing machine, and it is sturdy. I have put some stuff in it, and you could put computers in it. You could do whatever with it. It is just really beautiful. And so thank you, Ellen, for making that and showing it here at our show. Nancy Turtle also won with this table runner, a blue ribbon, and I think that is just so pretty. That would just look really pretty on a native table somewhere. And then we have Tree Skirt made by Heather McInnes. And I think that is the cutest thing in the world. She said she loves the Grinch. Don't we all? And so this one is called Firecracker. And this is another table runner that was made from scraps left over from a quilt. And it's going to be a Christmas gift for somebody. I wish it was going to be mine. That would be so nice. This one I love too. I think this is so beautiful. I have this thing about barns. I love old barns. And when I'm traveling, I love to stop and take pictures of old barns just because they fascinate me and they tell a story. They've been there for years, and then some of them are torn down or some of them are damaged, but they still have good bones, and I love that. She said that she has a big red barn with a quilt painted on it, and this is where she got her inspiration. But she also added little things like a little button star here, and then a little spool of thread here, and a little heart here, and just the little things that is happening, the chicken on top of the pigs and the cow. I just think that's so cute. It just turned out really beautifully, and she should be very proud of that. And that was by Janet Mortimer. So we've got a couple more that we're going to look at. This one's called Butterflies by Leslie Asalis. It's a beautiful piece too. I love butterflies. So this one is, she used Civil War reproduction fabrics and shirtings, and so I think that is just so pretty. We also have this one. It's called Leaves, and it won second place by Leslie, and she said she couldn't find the pattern to give the designer credit, but it's all hand appliqued using 1800 Civil War reproduction fabric. This is very hard to do, to take these little pieces and then stitch it so that you can't see the stitching, and it's all around each one of these. So it's a beautiful work of art that she has done, and I really think that's pretty and well deserving of the ribbon. This one is called Apron Club, and Leslie made this one as well. It's a Bee in the Bonnet by Lori Holt, block of the month pattern, and she used 1930 reproduction fabric. And I just think this is so cute as well. Cute little aprons everywhere. And we all have those aprons, don't we, ladies? This is called The Strength of the Pack by Gabrielle Worley. She said when she was trying to name this quilt, she came to a bit of a halt. After Googling wolf-related quotes, I found one that really hit home for me. The strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. So I named this quilt The Strength of the Pack for my aunt, whom I've made this quilt for, because she is the wolf that strengthens our family. Without her, our family would be at a loss. She is always there for anyone with the biggest open heart, ready to help however she can. She is the one you can always count on to be there when you need someone. She will be starting her second round of chemo soon, and I've always heard that a quilt is like getting an everlasting hug from the person who made it. So this quilt is my hug to her as she fights this next challenge in her life. Hopefully not only keeping her warm in the oh-so-cool chemo rooms, but also keeping her surrounded with love and support all along the way. And as a cancer survivor myself, this one hit home to me, and I will be praying for her aunt, and I wish her the best of luck, and I know that she will survive this. And we want you to know we all love you, and we are all here for you any way that we can. Thank you for sharing this beautiful quilt, Gabrielle, and for what it means, because for me, it hit home, and I appreciate it. So thank you. I think this is a beautiful quilt. So we're going to go around here, and we're going to look at this quilt. And this is called Alaskan Memories. And I've never been to Alaska, but I plan to go. I have a cousin that lives there, and he's been after me for a long time to come. And so this quilt kind of made me really want to do that now. This was her first quilt made from a purchased pattern. I'd like to see what she made before that if she didn't have a pattern. But this one is her first purchased pattern. But I think it's just so cute, and it just tells a story about Alaska. And I think if you ever have been there, I think you would realize that this one really does tell the story of that place. And I can't wait to see it one day. This one is called Lynn's Pony, and it was custom made for a dear friend who likes horses and colorful things by Ellen Harris. And I just think it's so vibrant and just so pretty, and I'm sure that T.L. Rollo is going to love that quilt. This one is called the Forestry Survey 2025 by Denise Bell. She using hand-dyed and painted fabrics and yarn as embellishment. She's depicted some, not all of the trees on her farm cited in the 2025 survey by the Oklahoma Forestry Department. And I just think that's so pretty. It just talks about the black walnut and the basswood and the hackberry and Callery pear, black oak, sassafras, blackjack oak, I can't talk today, honey locust, redbud, and a loblolly pine, and sycamore and winged elm. Just beautiful, beautiful. And I just love it that she added the little yo-yos at the top to represent the flowers. And I just think that's a really pretty little piece of, a pretty piece that she did. And she's done all this yarn work at the bottom, and I just think that's so pretty. That took some time. That's hard work, but we appreciate her bringing it and showing it to all of us. So I think that about wraps us up. We've got a beautiful show, and we are so proud and so honored to have all of our quilters here and bringing their beautiful works of art. And we hope that a lot of you that are watching and listening will please bring your stuff next year. We would love to see what you have, and we are always here for any questions that you might need. I will be able to assist you with that anytime you have questions. So thank you again to the Cherokee Nation for allowing us to have such a beautiful place to have our quilt show and to always be so supportive. We appreciate our chief and deputy chief and families so very much. And thank you all for watching and listening, and we hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have enjoyed doing it for you. So, Wado.